G'day, Dave here, the Enlightened Plumber, with today's quote. Early to bed, early to rise, makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Early to bed, early to rise, makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. And this doesn't just apply to men, it actually applies to women too. It applies to everybody. This comes from Benjamin Franklin, and I certainly know this one as more of a saying from my childhood. But listening to it now, it actually makes a lot of sense. So early to bed, early to rise. Well, this has cropped up a number of times in various personal development books, very many wellness books. And it's been proven in a number of studies that if we in fact go to bed early and get a set number of hours of sleep, then it sets our body into a motion and a rhythm where we can actually get re-energized. I've heard people talking about ATP being built up as we sleep and rest, but there's lots of other benefits in there. In fact, a more recent thing I've heard suggests that sleep is what actually gives the body energy instead of food, for want of a better term. Like, food does have an impact, but it's the energy that builds it's the sleep that builds the energy in our cells that allows us to perform work. Food is there as a raw material to build up muscle. Believe what you want on that front. That's just something I've heard, and actually coming from how I've heard it and where it's from seemed to make a lot of sense to me. The rising early, again, there's been a whole whack of studies out on that suggest that if we get up early, the natural tendency is that, as in most animals, when the sun comes up, we as humans wake up, we are full of life, have more energy and everything else. Well, that can come off from having sleep and being rested. But it's been shown that as we go through the day and have different activities, potentially our concentration slips away. There's been a whole lot of, like I say, studies on that side of thought process and how we physically work. So the morning typically is an area where most people can get their most focused, most productive work, make the best decisions, There's a whole lot of things that fit into that side of things. And that all leads to becoming healthy, wealthy, and wise. So I talked about health aspects of sleep. When we get rested, we can focus more, we can think better, we get re-energized. There's a lot of things that go on with sleep. Wealthy, well, okay, so if we are healthier, if we are more focused, if we have more energy, we have the tools in our own bodies, our minds and thought processes that can enable us to become wealthier than if we are pushing our limits all the time. So I say pushing the limits is maybe getting 1 or 2 hours of sleep every night for months on end, never stopping to think about anything else or get any sort of rest, in any way, shape, or form. These are all parts of that feed into the wealthy. It doesn't mean to say that just because I sleep 8 to 10 hours a night, I'm going to get wealthy. It just means that I am resting my body enough now that my faculties are all there, that if I use them and take action in the right ways, then that leads me to being wealthier than I perhaps would be if I just didn't. And wise, well, again, the other idea is that if I'm sleeping, if I'm resting, I'm getting all this processes going on, then I am able to absorb more information. I am able to take things on. I'm able to learn from what's going on around me, whether it's through making mistakes, whether it's through watching others, whether it's reading books, what have you. I am taking this information on, and therefore I become wiser. And so, of course, over time, as we age, which is part of my last conversation, the more experiences I get, therefore I become wiser. It's more of a kind of natural progression. So early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. It also applies to women, animals, and anybody else you may know. From Benjamin Franklin and myself, Dave the Enlightened Plumber, have yourselves an awesome day and sleep well tonight. See you on the next one.